What's up, YouTube? This is Yugioh CubeTube here. This is a magical Musketeers list we've been testing. This is by far probably not the best. This is a list we've had success with. And for you guys to see, because the deck's relatively new, we'll hit some explanations for some of the cards and explain some of it and tell you some of our choices. This is just a good skeleton you guys can go off with for future usage. So to get right into the deck, 3 Caspars. All the Musketeers, they all have the same effect where you can activate the magic and trap cards from your hand. And then they all each have individual effects. This is one of the best ones, if not the best one. Once you activate a spell or trap in the same column, he searches any magical musket card in your deck. So it's very, very good. It plays very similar to Inzektors in the way where Dragonfly and Centipede and Hornet, they all have search abilities. This is, to make it easy, this is Centipede. 3 Starfire. This is probably the second best one in the deck, if not one of the best ones. This is Inzektor Dragonfly. When you activate a magical musket card in the same column, you get one from the deck, so it's very, very good. You go into this, into Caspar, and keep searching and keep cycling. The next really good one that we play is Magical Musket Pot of Duality. So pretty much anytime you have these 3 on the field, you can just keep cycling cards because you can send cards to the graveyard and add it back with this. When you activate a Magical Musket in the same column as him, you get one of them, another Magical Musket card from the graveyard to your hand, so it's very good to cycle cards. It's a very Control-S deck, a very tempo-based deck to play. Kidbrave. What this guy does, he's a Destiny draw. So pretty much when you activate a magic or trap in the same column, you discard another one to draw 2. And then one of the Calamity. This card isn't bad. It's honestly just another name. I'll probably keep playing it, but I might cut this in the future because it does get some cloggy sometimes. So it's okay. When you activate one in the spell trap, you get another one from the grave. So it is kind of good. So if you run out of cards, because we do play Desires, and you only have one of them left in the deck, it's good to keep recycling and stuff like that. So it does have its usage. And then God card. I mean, what deck wouldn't be a deck right now without hand traps? Because there's so many great first turn board decks like Spirals, Trickstar. So these are just good to disrupt on either player's turn, and then you just tempo out with the magical muskets. 3 Ash. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then Ghost Ogre. This is just a personal choice right now. You could probably play Drolls if you want to play Drolls. It's just one of those things. And we're just playing, this is just locals for right now, so like not many people, Droll is not as good in our locals, so it's not as picky right now. Until the spell and traps. 1 Upstart. This card is just fantastic. You can just, it's a free search. It's a draw and a search on any of the cards. On like Caspar or Starfire, it's just very good. OCG's lucky to have 3 of them. Double Summon. This card's very good. This lets you extend combos and search. I think in the future I might put in a 3rd because you'll see I'm not playing, a lot of people play Ties of the Brethren. And that card is very good, but it's only good going first, so it's a very... when we were playtesting it, it was good and it was good, but it was a lot more bad than it was good. So instead of Ties, we're playing 3 Dualities. And it does conflict with Starfire every now and then, but it's just so much more consistent, and you get a lot better cards to your hand compared to just like Tizing, and like if you try and go second, it's just, I think it's a more versatile card. I've had a lot more success with this card than Ties of the Brethren, especially because like you can't attack and stuff like that. But this guy, he doubles the attack and defense of one of the magical muskets. Now they can't attack directly, but it's just a very good defensive card. And if you're going first and you really need to, and if you're playing against your opponent and you know like you need to get this next card I'm about to show you, or just another card, it's just like a free search in a way. But it's also very good to combo out with this card. This is, in my opinion, probably the best one. This card is, you target opponent's monster, negate its effect, and it goes from 0 attack and defense. So this card is just so good. I mean, I recommend playing 3 because hypothetically, there's times where it came up where I doubled my Magical Musketeer to get over cards because they're not necessarily the biggest. And then when they try to activate an effect, I chain this, and it's a free push, whatever their attack is. So it's like a free 32, 24, etc. And we do play a lot of 3-ofs, so it's kind of similar to ABCs, 2 desires. I think it's pretty... so, like, this is just good with the Magical Muskets because you get a search or an effect and an instant +1. Onto the traps. 3 of the gun. It's a Raigeki break. It's very good. It's just a simple disruption card. I think it's probably one of the most underrated cards. This card's very good because this deck is extremely reliant on its normal summon. And there's a lot of times where they came up today when they try to strike or even like warning or something like that to try and get the normal summon out of the way when to activate one of the Magical Muskets to kill it. You chain this to a strike and you just tempo out, and it won so many games today. One of this. This is good. We play as a 1-of because you search a lot in this deck, which makes the deck kind of consistent in a ways, even though it does brick. This stops your Magical Muskets being destroyed by card effects. So it came up once or twice if they try to Ghost Snow Rabbit it, or they try to strike my monster. If I had this already face up, of course, and it negates the effect, but he's not destroyed. And there's a couple times where they tried Twin Twisting this, you get the search and stuff like that. So it's good for right now as a 1-of. It might be cut in the future, but as of right now, if you go first, they can't Raigeki or Dark Hole you at the same time. And then probably the best card in the deck, one of the best cards, Evenly Matched. We like this card a lot because sometimes you only need one monster for the deck just to combo off. So like if you're going second, this card is obviously fantastic. The deck doesn't need to win by attacking. It just wins off tempoing out and just out-resourcing your opponent. So if they go first and open up a great board and you just summon the Magical Musket guy, you just automatically just start tempoing out and just start controlling the game so much easy. And it's not bad going first because sometimes you will just sit on a monster and they don't necessarily finish you for game and you just chain it. But one of the personal reasons why I like it and what's tested good is it's a very easy side-out card, which a lot of deck profiles don't talk about. If you're going first, you just side these out automatically for strikes or something like that, or something that just allows you to win the game. So it's a very flexible card into the deck. And onto the side deck. This is just local based right now, but I probably would play these cards at a regionals if I was playing this deck at a regionals. The Silent Brigade, I was just previously talking about Evenly Matched. This is just a great easy side in for Evenly Matched because this card the cards speak for themselves. I have these in the side deck. You could main them for the Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbits, but like I said, this was just testing at locals tonight. If you're never going to the regionals or YCS, this card is very good against Trick Stars. The card's fantastic. I won't say anything bad. Dark Hole and Raigeki, they're just good for going second. There's probably other cards you can side in for it for right now, but for right now, it's just very good. Cherries. This deck very rarely uses the extra deck. So this gives you such a big resource where you can play, 12 to 15 like extra deck cards and just stun your opponent out of the game completely. This card's very good in this deck. For future uses, we were thinking about potentially playing this and Eater Millions for BLS in the main deck. That's not a version we've tested yet, but in the possibility, like old Dark Magician decks used to main deck this when Tree Toad and very dependent decks, you can get rid of Double Agent, ABC Buster. So in the future, this card could slide to the main deck depending on the meta. But right now, it's good in the side deck. And then Cosmic Cyclone for the Pendulum Magicians. That's just a very good deck, and Cosmic Cyclone does a lot for True Dracos as well too, like I said. And then the extra deck, like I said, we don't necessarily use the extra deck, but except this, it allows you the flexibility of having Ghost Winter Cherries for so many cards. And these are just some examples, like, and then you can play a Dante. Like these are just. We have a couple more. These are some of the ones I just threw in there. I had 15 in there. Like Dante was one of them. There's so many other cards. And Ghost Winter Cherries allows you that flexibility. All in all, the deck's very fun. It does lack, like I said, being a very dependent on its normal summon. But like I said, I think this build does have potential to be in the future, especially if we get a ban list in January. People talk a lot of trash about this deck. If this deck gets slept on, I think this deck could be a very serious contender in the future, especially if you have a skilled player that understands it's a resource-based deck and it tempos out. So you have to understand when to use a negate spell or trap, the Raigeki break, when to negate a monster, when to push, etc., etc. So I think it's a very skill-based deck that can allow some players if they want to try something out different at a regionals or a locals, and it's a very fun deck for that reasons. And that's the deck. Like, comment, and subscribe.